What if I told you that the world's first millionaires didn't make their fortunes through oil, real estate, or even the stock market, but from steam, invisible pressure trapped inside iron and fire? That a simple piston, powered by boiling water, didn't just move machines, it moved money and created an entirely new class of wealthy industrialists who reshaped society itself. But here's the twist. The same invention that minted fortunes also destroyed lives, rewrote time itself, and triggered the first major economic bubbles in history. So, how did a machine meant to pump water from mines end up pumping wealth into the pockets of a few, while rewriting the DNA of capitalism? Let's uncover how the steam engine didn't just power the Industrial Revolution. It powered the invention of modern wealth. Before the 1700s, wealth was slow. Agriculture ruled the world. Profits grew with seasons, not seconds. The richest people were landowners, not inventors. Time itself was measured by harvests, not hours. But underneath England's green hills, something darker was stirring. Coal, and with coal came a problem. Flooded mines. Miners needed a way to remove water faster than horses or buckets could manage. Enter Thomas Newcomen, a blacksmith from Devon, who in 1712 built the first atmospheric steam engine, a crude machine that could pump water using the power of steam. It was massive, inefficient, and slow, but it worked. And that simple success sparked a race, not just for better machines, but for profit. By the mid-17th century, engineers like James Watt entered the picture. Watt didn't just improve the engine, he redefined efficiency, adding the separate condenser and doubling its power. But here's what's often missed. Watt's true genius wasn't mechanical, it was economic. Instead of selling his machines outright, he charged royalties based on the amount of coal his engine saved. It was one of the first modern intellectual property models, a subscription-style system 200 years before Netflix, and it made Watt and his partner Matthew Boulton incredibly rich. They didn't sell engines, they sold efficiency, the one thing every industrialist wanted. By the late 1700s, the Industrial Revolution was in full motion. Factories sprang up across England, cotton mills, ironworks, textile plants, each powered by Watt's improved steam engine. And here's the key economic shift. Before steam, productivity depended on human labor and daylight. After steam, work became mechanical, scalable, and endless. You didn't need more workers, you needed more machines, and whoever controlled the machines controlled the money. This gave birth to the world's first industrial millionaires, men like Richard Arkwright, who built the first water and then steam-powered cotton mills, or George Stephenson, whose locomotives opened entire continents to commerce. For the first time in history, wealth could compound mechanically. If you owned 10 engines, you made 10 times the output. If you owned 100, you made 100 times the profit. Capital no longer grew through land, it grew through leverage. But every boom has a shadow. The steam age didn't just create machines, it created momentum, and momentum became addiction. Railways exploded across Britain. Investors poured money into companies promising faster routes, bigger engines, infinite profits. It was the dot-com bubble of the 1800s. In 1845, the British government approved over 1,200 railway projects in a single year. Newspapers called it railway mania. Shares of railway companies skyrocketed. Some firms hadn't even laid a single track. Ordinary people mortgaged their homes to buy stocks. Bankers loaned freely, expecting endless expansion. And then, reality hit. By 1847, oversupply and rising costs caused the first major industrial crash. Thousands lost their fortunes, factories closed, banks folded. Steam, which once symbolized progress, had become the engine of speculation. Sound familiar? But beyond money, something deeper changed. Steam didn't just reshape industries, it reprogrammed time itself. Factory owners, powered by machines, demanded discipline. Clocks replaced seasons, workdays stretched. Every tick of the second hand meant measurable productivity. Workers, once independent artisans, became cogs in a vast mechanical system. The steam engine didn't just birth wealth, it birthed inequality. The new industrial millionaires lived in mansions, while factory workers lived in slums. Children worked 12-hour shifts beside boiling pistons. Economists of the time called it progress. But to the people living through it, it looked more like mechanized servitude. Steam had done what no king could. It centralized power, not in politics, but in production. Governments tried to fix the chaos. Regulations were introduced, safety laws, child labor restrictions, factory hours. But by then, the pattern was set. Every wave of innovation, from steam to steel, from electricity to the internet, followed the same wealth curve. Invention, investment, explosion, inequality, collapse, reform. Steam was just the first domino. Even James Watt's own patents, meant to protect innovation, slowed progress. Competitors couldn't improve the engine until his patents expired, proving that sometimes the very systems that create wealth also trap it. Today, we've replaced pistons with processors. Data centers are our new factories, and instead of coal, we burn electricity and algorithms. But the parallels are eerie. In the 1800s, steam powered the mills. In the 2000s, AI powers the servers. Then, a few factory owners controlled production. Now, a few tech companies control computation. The first industrial millionaires came from engines. Today's billionaires come from platforms. And just like railway mania, we've seen our own digital manias. Dot-com booms, crypto bubbles, and AI stock frenzies. Each time, the pattern repeats. Innovation, excitement, overvaluation, collapse, consolidation. But what's consistent across centuries is that technology always centralizes wealth before redistributing it. So what does the story of steam really teach us? First, every great invention starts as liberation and ends as control. Steam freed industry from nature, but enslaved labor to machines. Second, efficiency is not the same as equality. The more we optimize systems, the more we amplify whoever owns the system. Third, the future always repeats the past, just faster. Steam turned decades into years. AI turns years into months. The millionaires of the steam age built empires from heat and pressure. Today's millionaires build them from code and computation. But the question remains, will we learn from the first revolution or repeat it under a different name? Because if history is any guide, the next steam engine is already here. And it's not made of iron and coal, it's made of data and ambition. If you found this story fascinating about how technology and money are intertwined, make sure to subscribe to The Financial Technician for more deep dives into the hidden engines that power our economy. Because to understand the future of wealth, you first have to understand the machines that created it.